With only 2 more games in the regular season, for football, some teams are fighting for a chance for the playoffs, and some have a pretty safe seat. As we take a look at the conference standings, we look at each team and see what is coming up that may affect them. First, we take a look at Northeastern State rocking the 0-9 season for 2014, playing 2 games without scoring and allowing every team they have played to score a minimum of at least 28 points. The issue lies on both sides of the ball here. There's a decent possibility for the Riverhawks to turn a victory against Washburn if they focus their initial goal on their defense stopping the Ichabods. Next up is the Lindenwood Lions with a staggering record of 1-8. With the way they have been playing this year and the record they have, the chance of them pulling one out on Central Oklahoma is very unlikely. They still might have a chance with the Riverhawks as their final game though. Putting on several pretty close games with their opponents this year, Nebraska Kearney can look to finish the season with possibly one more win with Missouri Western and Emporia State. This is hard to say though with the fluctuation of the Lopers' defensive performance, but in all you can look to see a fairly close finish to their game this weekend. After losing by over 30 points this last week to Pittsburg State, Missouri Southern has a slight chip on their shoulder. But with playing a couple teams in the next few weeks, with a record not far ahead of theirs, they have at least something to look forward to before this season comes to an end. Emporia State has been struggling on the road this year, and even though they are playing at home this weekend, it doesn't look good with their opponent being the Bearcats of Northwest Missouri. With that said, you can look to see a better game that they will play the next week while taking on Nebraska Kearney in their territory. Fort Hays is approaching this weekend with a winning record so far and is likely to extend that. Playing Missouri Southern at home, this game may end up being a practice game for them as they approach the higher-ranked Central Missouri the following week. The chances for the Tigers to make it to the playoffs is looking pretty good this year. Central Oklahoma is next in rank in the MIAA. They are almost guaranteed to win this weekend playing Lindenwood on the road, but are awaiting their final game against Pittsburg State at home for their final season game. This one will most likely be their toughest of the year. Coming in at number 2 in the conference, the number 5 nationally ranked Pitt State Gorillas are almost guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. With their only loss of the season coming from a very close and somewhat controversial game, they look to keep that as the only loss of the year. This weekend will be their last home game of the regular season, but they look to finish it all out with a win against Central Oklahoma on the road thereafter. Here's a list of the final standings of the week for the MIAA. You can find these standings on the MIAA website at themiaa.com under the icon called Standings. They update the standings each week along with different news going on around the conference. For Caps 13 News, this is Caleb Wood.